Welcome to the Chicago Rita Hayworth Gala pre-show. I'm John Harris, your MC for the evening, and we're here tonight to support the Alzheimer's Association for an absolutely essential cause: to end Alzheimer's disease and other dementias. Now, if we were together in person for tonight's event, the atmosphere would be simply electric with hope. Picture a room filled with the most passionate and caring individuals as they share their most personal stories and experiences, and as they show their strong commitment to supporting this very important mission of the Alzheimer's Association. Well, since we couldn't gather in person this year, we wanted to bring some of the spirit of the gala to all of you at home. Well, with some spirits. So please put on your best formal wear or your best set of pajamas, and please join me as I introduce our celebrity mixologist for the evening, my dear friend Rita Schneider of Simplicity, who's gonna be walking us through how to make a delicious cocktail in the privacy of our own homes. Thank you so much for logging in and supporting us this evening. It really does mean so much to all of us. Take it away, Rita.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Rita Schneider. I am here to kick off the 2021 Rita Hayworth Gala. So I am actually the founder of Simplicity Co., a Chicago-based, beverage consulting company, if you will. We teach all kinds of online classes just simply about how to make cocktails at home. And then we have a really wonderful line of cocktail syrups, which I'm going to show you how to use today. So let's talk about cocktails. So if you notice, our company is called Simplicity Co. And I think that the reality is that cocktails should be simple. As long as you know a few basic tools to get, to make cocktails, it's actually very easy. I think that there's a lot of places and people out there that can make it seem overly complicated, but I'm here to kind of like make it a little bit easier for you. So, all right, now let's talk tools. All right, so the cocktail that we're doing today is shaken and not stirred. So rule of thumb is if there is citrus in a cocktail, it should be shaken. If there's no citrus, it should be stirred. So if you think about it, when you cut open a lemon or lime and there's all these little pockets, what you're actually doing when you shake a cocktail is using that ice to kind of beat that flavor up and bring it to life. But if there's nothing to beat up, right, you're gonna be really rough with it. So something like an old fashioned, a Manhattan, Sazerac, Negroni, even technically a martini. So yes, James Bond was wrong. Should be stirred, not shaken. But if you're a martini drinker, don't come at me. I promise. Just keep drinking it however you like. But today we are going to do a very summery twist on a French 75, which is one of my very favorite cocktails. So, all right. The tools that you will need for this evening are a shaker of some sort. So I personally actually use protein shakers when I'm making cocktails. I know that might sound a little strange. They definitely aren't quite as pretty. But, you can always twist the top on and off. You can, your hands don't get cold when you use them, and then you can use them for other things. So it's a little bit more sustainable, because I find that if you start walking around with a martini shaker, sipping water out of it, you get a few funny looks. Anyways, so you'll need something to shake with. If you don't have a protein shaker or a cocktail shaker, what I would suggest is like something like a ball jar or an insulated coffee mug. So just keep that in mind. You will need something to measure with. So this is a jigger. Every jigger is different, so keep that in mind. This is 1 ounce on one side, which is the side I'm going to be using. And then you will need something to juice with. So lemon and lime juice not necessarily go bad, but the flavor profile does change pretty dramatically within about 4 to 5 hours within juicing. So most places that you're going that have decent cocktails are juicing fresh. So you will need either a hand juicer, which is like this, or you will need a fork. Most people have a fork at home. So if you don't, not everybody has a hand juicer, which is totally okay. And then you'll need a knife just to cut open your citrus. So, all right. And then last but not least, if you have a muddler, that's awesome. You can also just use a fork. You can use a spoon to kind of mash it up. Strawberries are a little bit on the harder side. We're going to be using some strawberries. And so sometimes with muddling, I just recommend throwing your stuff in the shaker. But in this case, because strawberries are a little harder, I am just going to give that a quick muddle. So, all right, let's talk ingredients. All right, so I am going to use This is actually a non-alcoholic gin. So all of these cocktails today can be done either with or without alcohol. They'll still be good either way. So I am going to use this non-alcoholic gin. If you've seen all of these trends, non-alcoholic spirits are definitely a thing. It's definitely up and coming. So kind of fun. All right. Then something that I make. This is lavender honey. It's really perfect for the summer. So I'm going to put a little bit of that in there. And then I'm going to need a lemon. So then finally, I've got some strawberries right here. And last but not least, depending on if you're using alcohol or not using alcohol, there's two different ways. I think honestly, I use champagne in a can for this kind of thing. It's inexpensive, just goes right on top. Keep in mind that you shouldn't put expensive, especially not expensive champagne into a cocktail. So otherwise, if you are not using alcohol, just grab a soda water. If you want to use flavored soda water, that's totally cool too. It adds, kind of nice, it mixes it up a little bit on occasion. So, all right, now let's talk about building cocktails. So when I build my cocktails, I attempt being the key word, to build my cocktails cheapest ingredient to most expensive. Reason being is, in the off chance that I'm not perfect, which is most of the time. No, just kidding. I'm hopefully throwing out the cheap stuff first and not the alcohol. So I am going to cut my lemon so I get 2 wheels out of it. So as you notice, all right, so I know if you have a hand juicer at home, you may have either used one before or you've made cocktails with it, whatever. So I am going to show you how to use a fork to juice your lemon, because I could just squeeze like this, but you don't get nearly as much leverage when you don't have something in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my fork and put my lemon right in the middle of it. So I'm kind of making like a lemon lollipop, if you will. So, all right, now over my shaker, I am going to, with one hand, I'm going to squeeze. And then the second hand, I am just going to twist that fork in there. All right, so it should be the equivalent of about 1 ounce of lemon juice. Okay. All right, so now we've got our lemon in there. And then I'm going to cut up, this is a gigantic strawberry, but I'm going to cut that up. You know what, I really like strawberries, so I'm gonna go for the whole thing. You can probably do half, but I'm feeling fun today. So I'm going to throw my strawberry into my shaker, and then I'm going to take either a fork or a spoon, or in this case, a muddler, and I'm just going to give that a quick mash, just to give the ice a little bit more opportunity to break this up. All right, we are good to go there. So now we put in about the equivalent of 1 ounce of lemon juice, and now I'm going to do 1 ounce of lavender honey. So if you notice, I'm doing that simply because, I don't know what kind of measuring device you're using, or in the off chance that you want to make a picture of these sometime, you can do that. You can do 1 cup, 2 cups, half cup, 1 cup. There's a million different ways to do this, but I think that there's a very simple formula for making cocktails. So, all right, now we're going to do 1 ounce of lavender honey. And then I am going to do 1 ounce of my alcohol of choice. It's gin that's recommended in this cocktail, but I don't have to drink it. You do. Use whatever you want. Okay, so now I am going to do 2 ounces of my spirit of choice. And then I just realized I forgot to get ice out, because I am awesome like that. So give me just a second. I'm going to grab some ice out, and I will be right back. Okay, we're back. So I've got about a cup of ice. You know, when you're filling your ice, you want about at least halfway full, but you know, 3/4 of the way full is a pretty good indication that you're going to have enough ice in there. So, but don't skimp on your ice. Ice is actually surprisingly one of the most important elements to your cocktail. So do make sure that you're putting enough ice into your cocktail. Okay, so now I am going to tighten my lid, making sure that, you know, this is tightened, that this is tightened, because, you know, we don't know. Instead of wearing my cocktail, I prefer to drink it, but that's just me. Okay, so now we're gonna shake for about 20 to 30 seconds. All right, so now, you know, I kind of say if it's a glass that holds liquid, it's probably a good glass to hold a cocktail. You know, we're all at home at this point, kind of rolling with the punches. So I am actually just going to pour right from my shaker into my glass. Looks delicious. And then finally, depending on what you are using, you can use either soda water or champagne. I am going to put a little bit of champagne on top. And that is it. So I want to thank you all for joining me for this lovely cocktail. I hope you had a very enjoyable experience as the night moves forward. The show will start promptly at 6 p.m. And thank you so much for joining me.
I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Yes, I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for.
Welcome, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Good evening.
Welcome to the 2021.
Welcome to the 2021.
Welcome to the 2021 Chicago Rita Hayworth Gala.
Rita Hayworth Gala.
Rita Hayworth Gala.
We are all here to support the Alzheimer's Association and ask that you consider supporting also.
I support the Alzheimer's Association.
I support the Alzheimer's Association.
We support the Alzheimer's Association
because of the great work that has been done for many, many years in an effort to find a cure for Alzheimer's.
We can't let this disease rob us of our loved ones, and with your help, we can change that today.
Not only are there more than 6 million Americans living with Alzheimer's, but there are millions of caregivers making sacrifices and changing their lives to support those they love.
Because I want to be a part of helping to find a cure.
Because I hope that in my lifetime, treatments and a cure can be found for this disease, which takes our loved ones far too soon.
because as a family, we experience firsthand Alzheimer's, and it's our hope that one day soon we can get to a world where you and your loved one will never experience this dreadful disease.
I'm inspired by my dad, who has Alzheimer's. He's a mathematician and he was a teacher, and he always believed in giving forward.
I think of my grandma and the suffering that she endured before she passed from Alzheimer's. My family and I experienced and felt the frustrating loss that we couldn't stop.
I'm inspired by all caregivers and the sacrifices they make on behalf and to take care of those that they love.
My grandpa, he took it upon himself insurmountable challenges as a caregiver to my grandma, often overwhelming and without an end in sight, but he never once hesitated.
I'm inspired by both my parents, Seal Moran and Dennis Moran here, and both had suffered from Alzheimer's and dementia.
I'm inspired by my dad, by my mom, by my whole family who rallied together to support my grandmother and care for her after her diagnosis.
We wish you all the best and hope you all enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thank you for supporting.
We hope you all have a great night tonight, and we hope to see you in person soon.
Thank you for joining us at the 2021 Chicago Rita Hayworth Gala. Your support can make a difference.
Welcome, everyone, to the 2021 Chicago Rita Hayworth Gala. I am John Harris, your first and hopefully last virtual Chicago Rita Hayworth Gala MC. I hope that you and your families have stayed safe and healthy during these unprecedented and crazy times, and that you too see a bright future on the horizon. While we look forward to the possibility of holding next year's event in person, I am honored to join you from this big purple bubble this evening. When looking for a silver lining of this pandemic, I've been fortunate enough to be at home with my wonderful family, getting a chance to spend more time with them and share new experiences. I don't know if my children will agree with that, but I've enjoyed it. Over the last 430 days, but who's counting, we've worked from home, we ate together, we had several Zoom calls, too many Zoom calls, with family and friends. We read several books, but not nearly as many as we thought we could. We watched every single Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon Prime show you possibly could, and we had over 1,000 meals delivered. And through it all, the one thing that remained consistent, no pants. To be serious, we've made some incredible memories that are so precious to me that the idea of ever losing them simply breaks my heart. We are here because we know exactly how Alzheimer's affects the 6 million families who care for and love someone with the disease. We know the statistics. We know that people suffering from Alzheimer's have fared much worse during the COVID-19 pandemic. And we know we must do whatever we can to put a stop to this terrible disease. And we will do this in memory of those we lost and for those generations to come. So tonight we come together virtually to generate hope and support for the Alzheimer's Association. Support that will go towards invaluable efforts to advance crucial research in the prevention and treatment of Alzheimer's disease, to provide care and support to all those impacted by Alzheimer's, and to advocate for the national policies and federal funding we need to put a stop to this terrible disease. Please join me in welcoming my friend, the Alzheimer's Association President and CEO, Harry Johns.
Thank you, John. Hello. It is a pleasure to be with you. Certainly, I wish we could be together live, but it's a great pleasure to be with you nonetheless. Thank you so much, really, for everything you have done and continue to do for the Alzheimer's Association, being a part of this event and everything so many of you have done over time. You know, the pandemic, of course, has affected this event. It's affected so many of our constituents. I know it's affected so many of you. Our constituents have been isolated. Families have been isolated. We've worked hard to try to improve those conditions, and I believe we have. Thanks to you, we've been able to make a real difference for folks in those circumstances. Not all that we would want, but really substantial, I believe. And we've continued to deliver our mission, all aspects of it, again, thanks to you. We've continued programming like our 24-hour, 7-day-a-week, 365-day helpline. It was one of the very first things we took remote, never missing a call in the time of greatest need for those people who call us around the clock. And we've gone to programming in formats like this for care and support, and actually reaching more people per program than ever before. Of course, we have continued our research advances to the point where we now have, for the first time ever, a drug before the FDA that could be approved by June for the underlying causes of Alzheimer's, not just the symptoms. You make all of these things possible. I thank you so much, again, for everything you've done for the association over time and in these pandemic times. Thank you, too, to the members of the Chair Circle for what you have done and continue to do. Special thanks to Princess Yasmin. Thank you so much for your leadership over all of these years, making such a difference. And as the general chair and founder, of course, of these great Rita Hayworth events. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce Barbie and Bruce Taylor, who have been such great leaders of this event and in so many ways for the Alzheimer's Association over time, and certainly in this year. Thank you so much for all of that support and leadership, and I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Harry, and good evening, everyone. I'm Barbie Taylor. There's no doubt in our minds that Harry's visionary leadership has contributed immensely to the many milestones the Alzheimer's Association has achieved in recent years.
I'm Bruce Taylor. We are so excited that so many of you are here with us tonight.
When we signed on to chair the Chicago Rita Hayworth Gala, we had something a little different in mind.
Yeah, like 1,000 people at the Hilton, dressed in their best formal wear, enjoying each other's company, great food, fun drinks, music, and dancing, all for a very important mission to eliminate Alzheimer's disease. Thank goodness for modern technology that we can still be together virtually, joining hands in this important mission.
We've been attending the gala since its inception in the 1980s when we were just in our 30s. For many years, we attended the event with our parents.
Barbie's father, Jerry Abrams, absolutely loved the gala. It was one of his favorite things to do in his later years, and talked about it for months ahead of the actual event. He really loved greeting Princess Yasmin.
Bruce's parents, Iris and Sid Taylor, were also longtime supporters of the gala. We are so grateful that we had the chance to share those experiences with our parents. This cause is deeply personal to us, like it is for many of you. Together, Bruce and I have lost 3 parents who have suffered from Alzheimer's. We miss our parents every day, and we know that we must continue to fight for the future generations of our family to come. During this pandemic, we welcomed 2 new grandchildren to the 4 we already have, and they have been a true ray of sunshine. As grandparents, we have the responsibility to do whatever we can to make sure their world is a world without Alzheimer's and all other dementia.
Watching someone you love decline and disappear over a long period of time is a heartbreaking type of sadness. At the beginning of the program, we heard why many of you support the association. We do it for the memory of our parents, for each other, and for our children and our grandchildren. It's our generation's responsibility to honor those who came before us and fight for those who come after us.
The association simply won't be able to provide the necessary care and support for families facing Alzheimer's and advance research that will lead to an effective treatment without supporters like you. We have so many incredible sponsors to thank this evening. Our underwriter, Rolex. Presenting sponsors, Joan and Paul Rubschlager. Champion sponsor and tonight's honorees, Mesro and the Jerome H. Stone Family Foundation.
Our tribute sponsors and my sister and brother, Cindy Robinson and Jeff Taylor. Benefactor sponsors, Catherine Bannister, Blue Cross, Blue Shield of Illinois, ConAgra, Susan and Jim Dratty, Fifth Third Chicagoland Foundation, and Robert and Linda Mendelson. Thank you all so much. And I also want to thank my better half, Barbie, for getting me involved in this wonderful event. Your passion and commitment to the mission of the Alzheimer's Association is irresistible. This labor of love has been a very fun journey for us to take together.
We do make a great team. And now we are honored and grateful to introduce the 2021 Corporate Honoree Mesro. They have been a committed supporter of the Chicago Rita Hayworth Gala since the event's inception in 1987, becoming not just a staple in our community, but an important partner of the Alzheimer's Association.
I have had a lifelong connection to this great Chicago-based firm. They are committed to advancing the mission of the association through their generous support. They have also invested in and developed resources aimed to educate their employees, their clients, and their families on the first signs of Alzheimer's disease and the broad impact on the entire family.
It is our honor to welcome Richard Price, Chairman and CEO of Mesro, our 2021 Corporate Honoree.
Good evening. I'm Richard Price, Chairman and CEO of Mesro. I'm proud to be with you tonight to accept this honor on behalf of the firm. I want to thank the Alzheimer's Association, board, staff, and many supporters that are here tonight. And a special thanks to Barbie and Bruce Taylor and their steering committee for this generous recognition. At Mesro, we bring a people-first culture to how we serve our clients and communities. This focus also includes recognizing and supporting organizations important to our employees and their entire families. So often, this includes our employees' aging parents who may be facing memory loss and for whom the Alzheimer's disease and other forms of dementia are being faced at home. In addition to their dedication to their clients and teams, our employees are dedicated to their families and the family health issues. Right now, nearly 80% of Mesro employees are considered to be in the sandwich generation, a generation that I'm not part of, but I'm certainly sensitive to. These are the cohort of adults providing financial, emotional, and other types of support to both their children and their elderly or aging parents. The pandemic has only exacerbated the challenge facing this group. For more than a year now, they have cared for school-age children while at home, while at the same time bearing many burdens for parents in the COVID vulnerable generation. It's our duty as employers to ensure that our people have all the right tools and resources to manage their health and especially their mental health. And also to make sure that they are educated about issues that the data tells us may be in their purview, such as memory loss, Alzheimer's, and dementia. To this end, we are happy to be partnering with the Alzheimer's Association to bring education and training to our entire employee base. This is just one of the ways the Alzheimer's Association can be a resource for our community. I urge other business leaders at tonight's event to consider contacting Alzheimer's Association to arrange a training for their employees as well, as I know it will be extremely beneficial. And with that, I want to invite my friend and longtime Mesro Wealth Advisor, Jennifer Rosenblum, to say a few words. Jennifer?
Thanks so much, Richard. To think that the majority of our firm is in that sandwich generation, of which I am definitely a member, is truly amazing. I'm the mother of 3 boys, obviously a working mom, and along with my sisters, helped manage my mom's health, care, and finances over many years before she passed away last year. She had suffered from Alzheimer's over the past decade or so. Upon reflection, we can say that mom had the usual signs and followed a typical trajectory of the disease. However, when you're in the midst of it, nothing seems typical, nothing seems usual, and you're left feeling alone and secluded from the rest of the world. As the disease progressed, the best piece of advice we got was to not argue with her misunderstandings, because it is not helpful and, in fact, is harmful and can be seen as hurtful. Ultimately, the humanity, respect, patience, and love that it takes to care for a loved one with Alzheimer's is, in all honesty, challenging. Mom wasn't really mom anymore, but what helped the most was to meet her where she was. When she passed away, we knew and hoped she knew that she was loved and cared for. It's hopeful to know that the Alzheimer's Association is out there not only funding research toward new treatments, preventions, and a cure, but is there for families, providing education for every family member, legal advice, and an abundance of resources for caregivers to lean on. I'm thankful to Mesro for their effort to educate our employees, as well as to Bruce and Barbie Taylor, good friends of the firm and of mine, for all they do to encourage the good work of this organization. Thank you for this meaningful honor.
Good evening, everyone, all the way from Park City, Utah. My name is Yasmin Aga Khan, General Chair and founder of the Rita Hayworth Galas. As you know, this event began as a way to honor my mother, Rita Hayworth, who passed away from early onset Alzheimer's at the age of 69 in 1987. My mother would have been thrilled to know that a pandemic wouldn't stop us from gathering virtually to honor her memory and support the Alzheimer's Association. We thank you for being here tonight. I would like to extend my sincerest thanks to my friends at Rolex for their unwavering support of the Alzheimer's Association. I also want to thank Harry Johns for your incredible leadership through this most challenging time, and our Gala chairs, Barbie and Bruce Taylor, and the entire Gala committee. I can't wait to see all of you again on the dance floor and finally celebrate your generosity and endurance during this time. Now it gives me great pleasure to introduce the recipient of our 2021 Family Philanthropy Award and my dear friend, Jim Stone. Jim's father, Jerome Stone, was a visionary who launched this movement when he founded the Alzheimer's Association in 1979. Jerry's vision lives on through Jim, who has inspired a legacy of support across generations in his own family and over 3+ decades of this event. His family has been a part of a national board, chairing the Rita Hayworth Galas twice, and his daughters Emily and Phoebe have been instrumental in the growth of both the New York and Chicago Rita Hayworth Galas. Tonight, we celebrate Jim's generosity and steadfast commitment to the vision Jerry set 40 years ago, a world without Alzheimer's and dementias. And now, without further ado, I virtually will pass it over to Jim Stone. Congratulations, Jim.
Thank you, Yasmin, Gala Steering Committee, and fellow supporters. I'm here tonight because you've been with us since the association was started 41 years ago. We gathered to honor what every one of us has done to build this essential institution. Maybe I'm our philanthropy speaker because I'm old enough not to have done more, but to have seen more, or maybe because I was there at the beginning. Let me share what I remember and what I thought. My family story, in a word, is similar to your own. Familiar in theme, but different in details. Consistent in pattern, unrelenting in terror. Alzheimer's visits any family and refuses to leave. How do you get rid of it? You can't. How do you cope with your unwanted visitor? It's draining and expensive. How does it leave when it's ready to take a family member with it? My mother was our unwitting victim. Talented, youthful, alive, she played the piano, violin, and sang. She sought out those on the sidelines, the elderly, the infirm, the unsure, and brought them into the mainstream. This was her joy and her identity. One day in the prime of her life, she began to feel the flame in her mind flickering, later diminishing, and finally burning out. She lost sight of the familiar, the mainstream, and even the sidelines. My father took charge. His stunning career was anchored in problem solving. That was in the commercial and social worlds. Alzheimer's was different. No matter what he did or how much he spent, he could not tame the disease. His final thrust called upon his greatest skill, business development. He merged 7 small entities into a much larger group. That became the Alzheimer's Association, this in 1980. I remember the formation, especially the 4 pillars that supported it during its first few years. First, there was a powerful steering committee. It represented science, administration, fundraising, and knowledge of the disease. High in the founder's plaque are the names Lonnie Wolin from New York, Bob Butler from Washington, D.C., Robert Katzman from Boston, and Hilda Prigion from Minneapolis. Second was a simple yet ingenious sales campaign. A stray letter to Dear Abby, a syndicated newspaper column, elicited 22,000 responses, which elicited 22,000 acknowledgments, each with a return envelope asking for money. Fundraising, which would grow to billions of dollars, was born. Third came Yasmin Aga Khan, Rita Hayworth's daughter and caregiver. Yasmin wanted to help greatly, but told the board she might have difficulty raising money. She went on to raise scores of millions of dollars directly and indirectly countless more. She had learned on the job that to do that which can't be done was the Alzheimer's motto. She also co-founded Alzheimer's International and fittingly became our association's spiritual leader. Finally, there evolved a national awareness of the disease. My mother was diagnosed in 1969 when few people knew what Alzheimer's was. A decade later, there was a little improvement. When she succumbed in 1983, Alzheimer's had become a household word. In 4 decades, our association has accomplished a great deal. Foremost are the results emanating from research following 5 productive paths. Biopharma, where daily we learn much. Genetics, with risks but considerable promise. Lifestyle factors, with select evidentiary success. Early detection, which enhances the duration and quality of life. And caregiving, a standalone, remarkable achievement. We live in an era characterized by battling great diseases. It is COVID today, smallpox, polio, HIV/AIDS, and others within the past century. But these are viral diseases, where isolation of a virus can be treated with divinity. Alzheimer's, however, is more like cancer, complex with multi-variations. Yet decades of research have made it possible for many cancer sufferers to be cured year after year. Our association is following this trajectory. It is today a key contributor to achieve the national goal of effectively treating and preventing Alzheimer's in this decade, and maybe as early as 2025. So we continue to sail on, the wind blowing at our backs, buoyed up with new hope, and secure that science is steering our boat safely toward its final port. Then we can live out our lives no longer in fear of terror. We can complete our mission and that of those who came before. We can protect our families and those who come after. We can, in a word, conquer Alzheimer's.
I can almost see it, that dream I'm dreaming, but there's a voice inside my head saying you'll never reach it. Every step I'm taking, every move I make feels lost with no direction. My faith is shaking, but I gotta keep trying. Gotta keep my head held high. sometimes might knock me down, but no, I'm not breaking. I may not know it, but these are the moments that I'm gonna remember most. Yeah, just gotta keep going. And I gotta be strong. Just keep pushing on. 'Cause always gonna be another mountain. Always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's a always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes you're gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's a
I hope you don't mind. I have something else I'd like to do this evening. I have someone I'd like to call. I think he would love to be part of this. So let me just get on the old Zoom, something that we've done quite a bit of over the last 430 days again, but who's counting? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my dearest friend and one of the most recognizable people on the planet. He's from all of your neck of the woods, the incomparable Al Roker. Al, how are you, my brother? Where are you this evening?
Well, I'm in New York City. We're in our living room, a room that I never see unless I come to Zoom. You know, who actually ever goes into their living room? But here we are tonight.
Well, it is great to have you. You know, we're in the middle of the first ever and hopefully last ever virtual Chicago Rita Hayworth Gala. So we cannot thank you enough for being part of this very, very special evening. I know, Al, that you and Deborah have been so supportive of the cause over the years and the Alzheimer's Association throughout the years. And you've had some dear friends and family who have suffered with the disease. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, look, Deborah's mom, suffered from Alzheimer's and eventually succumbed to it. But, you expect somebody in their 80s or early 90s. That's what we usually think of. But she has one of her sisters who was diagnosed into her early 60s. And a dear friend that we've reported on, B. Smith, a restaurateur and supermodel, developed Alzheimer's and ultimately passed from that. And that, to that point, one of the reasons why we're so involved. I mean, not just to help folks get through this, because it is a devastating diagnosis, but people of color are afflicted by this even more. And the research still is out there trying to figure out why. And so to whatever we can do to help that research and to help support families who are dealing with this devastating diagnosis, we'll do whatever we can.
Well, thank you so much, my brother. We are raising money tonight to conquer Alzheimer's. And the only way that we can do it is together. Would you do the honor, please, of introducing the listener family?
I would love to. As we all know, the Alzheimer's diagnosis can be devastating, not just to the person who gets the diagnosis, but the entire family, and you ripple that out to friends and coworkers, and it can be devastating. And as we knew it for our family, our friends, the listeners, get this unexpected diagnosis. And for some folks, it can just be beyond devastating. It can be debilitating. It can be paralyzing. But for these folks, it was a call to action and to unity. And to find out more about it, let's hear about it in their own words.
When you have Alzheimer's, you start to lose your memory. Little signs like just being forgetful. Everybody forgets. But when you take it to that next level, you start to see how it can impact your very being. Not only are you losing a part of yourself, but you're losing the people that you love and connect to and that love you. And that's the hardest part of it, I think. I'm not the one with Alzheimer's. My 54-year-old son has Alzheimer's. That's crazy. We're speaking out because he wants to make things better for people who are in the same situation as he is. And I'm very proud of him for that.
Nobody expects anything like this to happen, especially not when they're young.
How many people are at my age? I don't really know. I think there's that kind of stigma. Because if it can happen to me, it can happen to anybody.
I started noticing little things, but they became more glaring. The thing that I remember the most was he was setting the table for us at home, and he could not figure out where to put the placemats. And I remember getting really annoyed by it, thinking he was just not paying attention. And then I realized he could not process that information.
I was really good at math, really good at math. I was a CPA, and all of a sudden, I couldn't use those skills because I couldn't really figure out how to pay a tip. There were a lot of people who I worked for said, hey, we brought you on because we thought you'd be an asset. And I don't know exactly when I stopped being an asset.
Having a doctor say and write down, it seems like it's early onset Alzheimer's. So it was just overwhelming. I mean, he was 53 at the time. There's no family history.
It took a while for us to acknowledge that I won't be the same. My brain's going to take over and I'm not going to be there.
He's mentioned a couple of things that he's done where he was in the middle of the crosswalk with the dog and couldn't remember when he was supposed to cross the street. Whenever he walks out the door, I kind of brace myself and I wait for him to come back. And I know it's just going to be lots of moments like that. I can't imagine when it gets worse what that will be like. How stressful will it be for Stuart when I am living in the same place with him and he has no idea who I am? What point do I have to let go of everything in my life in order to take care of him? I don't know what that'll feel like for either of us. It'll be so upsetting for me, and I'm sure equally upsetting and frightening for him. And of course I worry about our kids. Will he be able to attend their weddings and see their kids and even know who they are? Our youngest called and he was having a little bit of a breakdown about it, saying, I don't even remember what he was like before. And it's really hard as a mom to see that. I try not to go there because that's the worst part for me, thinking about their experience with him. I worry that one day he's going to wake up and he's not going to know who I am and it's not going to come back, that'll be it, that I'll have lost him. As our population begins to age significantly and people live longer, more people are getting Alzheimer's. It's really important, not just for us, for future generations, to see a focus on getting to people early enough where it's not just how can we treat Alzheimer's, but how can we figure out what causes it so we can stop it before it starts. The Alzheimer's Association, they're really helping to find a cure or to find a way to at least postpone all the horrible things that I'm expecting to happen tomorrow.
This could happen to you. It's not just Stuart, it's not just your grandfather, it's everyone that we know. And so everybody needs to sort of like focus and say, this is really something that could impact us all in some way. So what can we do to stop this?
I don't want my sons to have a problem growing up and not knowing whether they're going to have an issue with Alzheimer's. And I want to make sure that not only for myself, but for other people who have this disease are able to find a cure that could help me or anyone down the road beat Alzheimer's.
Wow, after you watch something like that, you can't help but think, how would I handle this? How would my family handle this? Wow. So all I can say is thank you to Stuart, Connie, and to Marilyn for having the courage and the grace to share your story with all of us. It gives us a lot to think about. In the meantime, while you're thinking about that, you folks at home can show courage, fortitude, gratitude, and help by investing in a world without Alzheimer's. How? Well, I will leave it to my good friend, John Harris, to handle this part of it. Oh, Johnny.
Oh, yes, Al. Well, brother, thank you so much for joining this. So this very important fight, and for all that you and Deb do to bring awareness to this terrible disease. The only way we're going to conquer this is together. And as Al said, best, it's an opportunity for all of us tonight to show courage and invest in a world without Alzheimer's.
All right, Johnny, shake that money tree loose.
You got it. I'm gonna make you proud. As Al said, we need to shake that money tree loose. Tonight, we have honored family and friends who have been touched by Alzheimer's and other dementia. We have celebrated those leading the fight to advance care, support, and research. Those who have continued to support this cause through thick and thin, even through a global pandemic. Yes, we've raised some money, but we need to raise more. And that's where you come in. And we've witnessed firsthand the devastating impact of Alzheimer's, not just across generations, but in young, healthy people like Stuart, who was diagnosed at 54 years old. Think about that. 54 years old. It could be you or me. But even worse, if we don't do anything to move the needle, it could be our children, our grandchildren. Like Harry said, for the first time ever, there is an actual treatment that can slow the progression of Alzheimer's on the horizon. Imagine that. A medication that could give families more good days together, or even years. Imagine what that could mean for Stuart's family, to your family, to have a few more years to create precious memories together. These are the advances in research that we are here to invest in tonight. Now is the time to give and make a difference. Like Jim Stone said earlier in the program, we need you. We need you to help us steer this boat safely through its final port, a world without Alzheimer's. Think about that. Together we can generate hope for the next generation. So to donate, please text CRHG to 76278 or go to our GiveSmart page at crhg.givesmart.com. Scroll down and locate that beautiful Donate Now button. It's that easy. With that said, we've got some donations rolling in right now, and I'd like to thank some folks this very moment. Mike and Ann Cummins, Barbara Zabel and Ron Crouch. Thank you so much to Robert Rizzo and Robin Cindy Moorheim. Thank you to Laney Friedman and Michael Alderson. Remember, folks, no amount is too small or too big to make a difference. Just what sort of difference will you be making? The kind that advances the global research effort of ending Alzheimer's through methods of treatment, prevention, and God willing, hopefully a cure. The kind that furthers quality of care and support and spotlights Alzheimer's on a national stage. So please, please join the fight. You all have a very important role to play in ending this terrible disease. Great news, donations continue to roll in, and we want to thank everyone for their continuous support. We want to thank Ashley Logan, Jeff Oskin, Phyllis Tabachnik, Susan Rosenberg. Thank you so much, Susan. I want to thank Francie Harrington. While the donations are pouring in, I want to thank Mesero's CEO, Richard Price, for making a $25,000 donation. Let me say that again. Thank you, Richard Price, for making a $25,000 donation. Can we get 5 gifts of $5,000 to match Richard? I know we have many CEOs in the crowd tonight, and I know that you know how to make a great investment. Think of this as the investment in the future, a future free of Alzheimer's disease. Moving right along, we want to thank Joan Steltman. We want to thank Donna McCullough. Want to thank Sonia Flores, Rose Gavin, Jennifer Wahlberg. We also want to thank our amazing corporate partners who generously support this gala year after year. Our Chicago Rita Hayworth Gala underwriter, Rolex. Our corporate honoree, Mesero. My own employer, ConAgra Brands. Fifth Third Bank. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. William Blair. Katten Munchen Roseman. FGMK and Lundbeck. Can we add the name of your company to this great list of advocates who are investing in advancing care and supporting in our communities? Also want to thank Gail and Joel Poliski, John Timmer, Daniel Salinas Jr., Nancy and Mike Timmers, Thomas Knobloch. Thank you so much, Thomas. We also want to thank Danny Giacchino, the great Danny Giacchino, a real powerhouse in the Chicago Alzheimer's community, for your very generous gift of $2,500. Who wants to join Danny at her $2,500 level? I'm sure we've got some takers tonight. Please. Also want to take this opportunity to thank Linda Harris, my mother. Want to thank Barbara and Ben Malkin, Adam and Tammy Press, Jason and Stacy Harris, Meredith and Lynn Ahern, Aaron Weistrop. We've got so many powerhouses, but speaking of powerhouses, how about some gifts in honor of our magnificent chairs, Barbie and Bruce Taylor? You know, they deserve some extra love for bravely paving the way in this new virtual world. And in honor of Jerry Stone, Jim's father and the founder of the Alzheimer's Association. We know Jerry's family is joining us virtually tonight, so I want to say thank you personally to them, because without Jerry and you, we simply wouldn't be here tonight. Moving right along, we also want to thank Andy Baker. Want to thank the great Bruce Taylor again, Tracy Page, Patricia Frazen. I know there are more of you out there that care enough about this important cause to donate. So please don't be shy. Hit that beautiful donate button. If you've already donated, share this link with family or friends, anyone. Spread the word about Alzheimer's, and let's let this disease know its days are numbered. The more people know, the easier it will be for all of us to put a stop to this terrible disease. We also want to take this opportunity to thank Liza Schweitzer, Sarah Matthew and Dan McMahon, Shane Farley, Phil and Holly Hamburg, Richard Dent and Dieta Jones. Also want to thank Ed Loeb, Betty Lou Saltzman, Mitch and Carol Feiger, and David Riley for supporting the gala with gifts of $2,500. Thank you so much. We want to thank Dan Murphy, the great Lynn Carey. Want to thank Catherine Rivera, Jennifer Hanks Allaire, Kate Graft, Marcy Bernstein, and Jennifer Hanks Allaire as well. Thank you so much. Also want to thank the Harris Fagan Group. And at this time, I also want to take this opportunity to thank our underwriter, Rolex, our presenting sponsors, the amazing Joan and Paul Rubschlager, the Jerome H. Stone Family Foundation, Barbie and Bruce Taylor, and of course, Princess Yasmin Aga Khan. It's her vision and the memory of her mom, Rita Hayworth, that continues to bring us all together each and every year. Remember, folks, to donate, it's quite simple. Just go to our GiveSmart page at crhg.givesmart.com. That's again, crhg.givesmart.com. Scroll down, locate that beautiful Donate Now section where you will find donation options that range from $250 to $10,000. You'll also see an Other button where you can just click on that and donate whatever amount you feel comfortable with. Remember, there is no gift too big or too small tonight. We're in this fight together. We also want to take this opportunity to thank Lindsay Swift. We want to thank everyone who has been such a big part of this tonight. What an amazing night. We want to thank the great folks at Yakety Yak Productions. We also want to take this opportunity to thank Al Roker and Deborah Roberts as well for their donation. In addition to your time, remember, folks, to donate, text CRHG to 76278 or go to our GiveSmart page at crhg.givesmart.com. That again, crhg.givesmart.com. Scroll down, locate that donate now button. It's that easy. It's that easy. It is so simple. And I'm telling you, every single gift is going to go to this amazing cause, and it's going to help us beat Alzheimer's together. We're going to win this battle. We're going to win this battle not only for ourselves and our family and friends, but for our children. We're going to win this battle for our grandchildren and their children. And the only way we're going to do this is together. We can't do it without you. So please, whatever you can give, please give. So with that said, what a spectacular turnout. The courage and passion you all showed here tonight is truly something special. It's amazing. And we want to thank you all for helping us raise over $750,000 tonight. Think about that, $750,000. We can't thank you enough. If you haven't had a chance to make your donation, there's still time. The night is young, and so are you. You know, many of us here tonight support the Alzheimer's Association because we want to make the world a better place for future generations. Well, I'd like to now pass the torch onto those future generations who have a special message they would like to share with all of us. Take it away.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for investing in a future without Alzheimer's. For investing in a future without Alzheimer's.
For your contributions to the Alzheimer's Association.
For helping us get rid of Alzheimer's.
We want to thank Princess Yasmin Aga Khan for her tireless efforts and dedication in memory of her mother that allows us to come together every year in remembering those who are affected by this disease.
I want to thank my great-grandpa Jerry for starting the Alzheimer's Association. It's important to thank the generations that came before us. Because everyone is trying their best to find a cure, and we need all generations involved.
We have so much more work to do.
Let's stop Alzheimer's! Thank you for your support. Have a good evening.
Thank you all so very much for being here with us tonight and for all of your support. We are deeply grateful. You are part of the solution to help end Alzheimer's disease and all other dementia. We would like to give our special thanks to everyone that participated in tonight's program. Our MC, John Harris, the Alzheimer's Association President and CEO, Harry Johns, tonight's award recipients, Mesro and Jim Stone, the listener family, and the Gala founder, Princess Yasmin Aga Khan.
And we can't wait to be with all of you on the dance floor at next year's Gala. We are excited to have a full 12 months to practice our dance moves.
Now we'll hand it back to John for a final toast to end the night. Have a wonderful evening.
Well, Bruce, I think I speak for everyone when I say I can't wait to see those dance moves. I know for a fact that you're a modern-day Baryshnikov. So, but seriously, thank you so much, Bruce. Thank you so much, Barbie. You are our chairs, our longtime supporters, our friends, our superheroes, our leaders. We wouldn't do this without you. We couldn't do this without you. You have made such a big difference. When you wanted to do a virtual gala, we said absolutely, and I'm so glad that we did. So thank you for all that you continue to do. And together, we're going to conquer Alzheimer's. And while I'm thanking people, I want to thank everyone right now who's viewing this, who's watching this, in your homes, in your kitchens, wherever you are. Thank you for attending this year's Chicago Rita Hayworth Gala and for all your support. In fact, I'd like to raise a glass to all of you right now for your passion and dedication to ending this terrible disease. Together, we're going to make this world a much better place for our children, for our grandchildren. Imagine that. So, stay safe, stay healthy. We look forward to seeing you all again in person in 2022. To you, cheers.